Alright, how's everybody doing out there in Math Magic Land? This is Mr. Muscarella coming at you. In this video, we're going to take a quick look at solving quadratics by completing the square when a is not equal to 1. So you'll know that when you have a quadratic of the form 2x squared plus 3x minus 7 equals 0. But what you're keying on is this number right here. The coefficient in front of your x squared or your quadratic term, it's not 1. So that's the a value that we're talking about. All right, maybe it's not set equal to 0, maybe it's set equal to 8, but whatever. The thing you're looking for is that the x squared term has a number in front of it besides 1. So let's take a look at our first of two examples. Now here, what you want to do first, of course, is isolate the quadratic term and the linear term. So you're going to take this 63 right here and you're going to move it over to the other side. And you will do that by adding. So on the left-hand side, we're still going to have our 7x squared minus 14x. But on the right-hand side, if you combine 63 with 7, you'll get 56. The next step on the left-hand side, you're going to factor out whatever the a value is. In this case, our a is 7, so we're going to factor out a 7. And we'll have x squared, and then 14x divided by 7 gives us 2x. And then I want you to put a plus, then a blank, and then a little equals, and then 56, and then plus a blank. Now, what goes in the blank? I'm so glad you asked. So what you're going to do is look at the b term, or your linear term, right here, this minus 2x. What we're going to do, I'm going to do this on the side. We're going to take half of it. So negative 2, and we're going to take half of it, which is the same thing as divided by 2. We're going to do that, and then square that. Now, if I can simplify the inside, that's pretty cool. Negative 2 divided by 2, of course, is negative 1. And when I square that, that, of course, will give me 1. So right here, I'm going to put a 1. Now, be careful, because here is the number one mistake. Wait for it. Boom. 7 times 1 is not going to just be a 1 over here. That's the number one mistake people will make. They'll just put a 1 over there like, oh, you got to keep it balanced. Nope. Since there's a coefficient of 7 in front of the parentheses, we need to make sure we add 7 to both sides. All right, so cool. Make sure you do that. After we have that done, of course, we're going to add 56 and 7, and we've got math skills, so that gives us 63. On the other side, we're going to have 7, and then remember before when we did this piece right here, half of the b term, that number right there is what's going to go in here. So you're going to have x, and then that value, minus 1, is going to go in for that spot. So we're going to have x minus 1 squared, and then a 7 out in front equals 63. Of course, we'll divide both sides by 7. So get x minus 1, that quantity squared, equals 63 divided by 7, gives us 9. Now, wait for it. Here comes your error alert. Because most people will do this. Now, when you think about this, people will generally be like, oh, yeah, bro, I know. You just like square root both sides, right? And it's like, but you don't just square root the right side. You plus or minus the square root of the right side. So be careful. Don't make that mistake of forgetting the plus or minus with the square root. Now, the square root of 9, of course, we know that is 3. If we move the 1 over, plus 1, we'll have 1. But then we've got this plus or minus, and then x will be here on the left by itself. Now, since these are whole numbers, which is really cool, so we're going to do x plus 3, or x equals, wrong thing there, so we're going to have x equals 1 plus 3, and that's going to give us one answer, which, of course, we know 1 plus 3 is 4. Then the other one, we're going to do x equals 1 minus 3, and we know 1 minus 3 gives us negative 2. So these are my two solutions, my two real solutions, by completing the square for the equation 7x squared minus 14x minus 63 equals 7. So that means if I took 4 or negative 2 and put them in anywhere there's an x here or here, and did all the math and arithmetic and figured all that out on this side, that whole piece would give me a sum of negative 7. All right, cool. That's it. So take your time. If you think you got it, be cool. Try this one on your own. So go ahead and hit pause and do that now, then we'll walk through it together momentarily. All right, so how do you think you did with this one? Rock stars, let's check it out. So of course, we're going to have our original equation right there. Now, we're going to move the 36 over, which gives us a sum of 33 on the right. Factoring out the 4, and this is where you got to be careful. So when you do that, take half of that linear term, or the 4n, and square that. So 4 divided by 2 is 2 squared, of course, gives us 4. So be careful on the right-hand side that you don't just add 4, but you add 16. 33 and 16 on the right combines to give me a nice 49. And then on the left-hand side, there's 4, and then n plus 2, that quantity squared. So one of the things I want you to notice too, and from the last example, you can rewind and go watch that, but whatever symbol, let's see what color we can use right here. This guy right here where the plus is, that's going to be the same thing as what's right there. So in the last example, there's a negative sign there, but in this one, there's a plus sign. So that is going to also help you out with that a little bit. Cool, which is also the same thing as the sign of the 2 over here before we squared it to get 4. All right, cool. So we're there, and of course you divide both sides by 4, you get 49 over 4. Then, remember, error alert, don't do it, plus or minus the square root of 49 over 4. Now that's kind of cool, because when we move the 2 over, we'll get 2 plus or minus, and then 49 and 4 are nice, perfect squares. So we don't have to deal with rationalize or anything like that, it's just 7/2. Now, the quickest way to get that to be a number we can work with, which is kind of cool, we're going to go ahead and change the 2 to a 4 over 2. Because if I were to take these two guys right here, this 4 divided by 2, I know this value can be represented by 4 over 2. Now, why is it 4 over 2? Because, yo, man, we got to have common denominator here. So that's why it's 4 over 2, because that reduces down to 2. Now, I can go ahead and add 4 plus 7 and subtract 4 plus 7, and I get two values. Oh my gosh, they're fractions. That's okay. Fractions are our friend, and we like our friends. So that's it. Completing a square. A is not equal to 1. Boom. Diggity done. Catch you later. You guys have a great day. Thanks for watching, and peace out.